Hi, everyone. I have had a story to tell for a while, and I think I'm ready to tell it. So let's explore fruitfulness. Galatians 5:22, Justine's first ministry retreat. I don't know. Let's just dive right in. So I've had quite the wrestle in the last few months, and I think what God is telling me to do is to share this in a series through this story. Because what I have definitely learned throughout this faith walk is that if I am rumbling with something, two things. One, I'm not the only one who needs to hear it. And two, I have to kind of wrestle with it a little bit myself before I'm ready to share it with you all. That's the boundaries to keep me safe and healthy, right? And I also never want to be the person that only shares the rise. So I would not say I'm anywhere close to the full rise yet, but it's time to share this story. So many of you know that I had my first ministry keynote back in September. I spoke at Women at the Well. My friend and in many ways mentor, Rebecca Pierce, she is a phenomenal Bible teacher and friend, gave me this chance. And it was not an easy task. Not only was it my first ministry keynote, it was my first keynote or talk that was 45 minutes long. And so it was full of challenges, right? But I got to take part in this amazing retreat at WindShape in Rome, Georgia, which is just a whole other story in of itself. And a lot of things unfolded. And what I am finding is that perhaps they unfolded through Galatians 5:22, the fruits of the Spirit. So I'm going to share a series with you and tell you this incredible story that is still unfolding in many ways. So first off, let's read Galatians 5:22. I'm in the Passion, which is one of my favorites. This is ridiculous. I have my NLT and I have my voice next to me. So, but in the Passion translation, Galatians 5:22 through 23 technically. But the fruit produced by the Holy Spirit within you is divine love in all its varied expressions, joy that overflows, peace that subdues, patience that endures, kindness in action, a life full of virtue, faith that prevails, gentleness of heart, and strength of spirit. Never let the law above these qualities, for they are meant to be limitless. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited where this series is going to go. Okay. I hadn't read that last sentence yet. Okay. So the first day of the retreat, my now friend Chantel Brewer, author of Missionary Mom, it's phenomenal. And she's hilarious and has such a gift for the word and just, I love her. She spoke. And also Haley and Heidi, they were our worship leaders. They are amazing. Follow them on Instagram. I will link them in the comments below. But during worship that night, they played the song, I Am No Longer a Slave. That song means a lot to me because 4 years ago, when I was about 1 year into attending my church, they had asked me to be part of our cardboard testimonies. And so it was a thing that they do the weekend of baptism every several years, where they have people walk out on stage with part of their testimony on a piece of cardboard. And, one side says how life was before they knew Jesus. And then they flip the card and how life is now that they know Jesus. And so I tell this entire story in my book that's coming out soon called The Complicated Gray. But I have an infertility story. And so, and I didn't know Christ until after our failed infertility journey. And so I was part of the cardboard testimony, and it was a fight. I am definitely particular about words, and my pastors wanted to like make sure that there weren't overuse of words and things like that. And so, one side of my card said something like shattered by loss and infertility. And then the other side, they wanted me to put finding peace in him. And 4 years ago, I was adamant. I will not walk on that stage with infertility and loss on one side and peace on the other. F you. I'll step down. Like, I don't need to be part of this. Like, I get it. Like, I'm okay if I need to step down from it, but I will not have peace on my card. I even wrote a HuffPost blog piece about it that went viral for a whole other reason, unfortunately. I'll link that below too. But it was a fight. But anyways, like, it was one of the most holy experiences of my life. And we walked out to the song, I Am No Longer a Slave. So back to Women at the Well, Haley and Heidi are singing No Longer a Slave. And I just I'm overcome by the, what are you up to, God? Like, obviously this is a glimpse. Like, holy crap, how far have I come in my walk with you in the last 4 years? So they play I'm No Longer a Slave. I'm singing and crying because worship music always makes me cry. And I hear clear as day, I don't need you to feel peace. I am your peace. And I wrote it down so quick. It was like I was in church. I was like, and got the pen and wrote it down. Like, you don't have to feel peace. That's a feeling anyways. Feelings pass. Our thoughts, our circumstances have to do with our feelings. Like peace is a feeling. Yeah, sure. But I don't need you to feel it because I am your peace. Christ is our peace. And it was just it just washed over me. So then Chantel spoke and it was amazing and beautiful. I took some notes. So then that night, I always carry a journal with me. I have a journal problem everywhere I go. And because I journal every day, even if it's just a couple sentences, but especially in experiences like this, I keep track of what God is doing. And so I go to journal to end the night before bed. And there was a filled out page randomly from 5/29 the year before. This is just this past September. So a year prior, I had written down about church. And as it turns out, 5/29, a year ago, they played the video during our service of the cardboard testimony. And I had written, God is so good. My cardboard testimony from 2 years ago was shown in church. What a different girl. How far had I come in 2 years? And here I was a year later at my first Christian retreat that I was a keynote speaker at. I had already told the group how much of an imposter I felt like. And that song was played and God again showed up, made sure I heard him. I don't need you to feel peace. I am your peace. Galatians 5:22, one of the fruits of the Spirit, patience that endures, peace that subdues. 4 years later, I would not say that my patience had endured. We'll get back to that one, that fruit. Peace that subdues. I don't need you to feel peace. He is our peace. I am your peace. That's part 1 of this series. There's several more coming, like security, identity in my name, the reclaiming of fruitfulness. So I hope you'll join me, and I will make sure to not drop this one because I don't think God will let me. So make sure you follow me on all social media, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. Also, I've got lots of online programs. The Happy Habit is always running. You can join that anytime. Got Authentic Enoughness Online, a 4-month program starting in January. Go follow me on YouTube, and the book comes out really, really soon, The Complicated Gray. So thank you for being here and exploring these fruits with me.